Sometimes the person you spent years forgetting only needs one moment to return to your heart. Emma thought she had finally healed. 2 years had passed since Noah left her without warning. 2 years of pretending she was okay. She changed jobs, moved into a new apartment, and forced herself to stop talking about him. But some people never really leave your heart. Even after all that time, certain songs still reminded her of him. Rainy evenings still felt lonely. And every time her phone buzzed late at night, a tiny part of her still hoped it was Noah. It never was. One cold Friday evening, Emma stopped at a cafe after work. She was exhausted and just wanted coffee before going home. The cafe was crowded and warm. Soft music played in the background while people laughed around her. Emma stood in line, checking messages on her phone. Then she heard a familiar voice. A voice she would recognize anywhere. Her heart instantly froze. Slowly, she looked up. And there he was. Noah. Standing only a few feet away. He looked older now. More serious. But his eyes were still the same. The same eyes that once looked at her like she was the most important person in the world. Emma quickly looked away, her hands shaking around her phone. No. This couldn't be happening. She prayed he hadn't seen her. But a few seconds later, she heard footsteps approaching. Emma? Her chest tightened painfully. She turned slowly. Noah stood there looking just as shocked as she felt. For a moment, neither of them spoke. I didn't expect to see you here, he said quietly. Emma forced a small smile. Me neither. Awkward silence filled the space between them. The breakup had been terrible. No explanation. No real goodbye. One day Noah simply disappeared from her life with a short message saying, I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. That message destroyed her. For months she blamed herself. Maybe she loved too much. Maybe she wasn't enough. Noah looked nervous now. You look good, he said softly. Emma gave a short laugh. That's usually what people say when they feel uncomfortable. A sad smile appeared on his face. Still honest, I see. Still leaving without explanations, I see. The words slipped out before she could stop them. Noah looked down immediately. Guilt covered his face. Emma regretted saying it the moment she saw his expression. But part of her was still angry. Very angry. I deserved better than silence, she whispered. You did, he admitted quietly. For a few seconds, Emma thought she might cry right there in the cafe. She hated herself for still caring. Noah looked at her carefully. Can we talk for 5 minutes? Emma wanted to say no. She should have said no. But instead, she nodded. They sat near the window while rain slowly started falling outside. Neither knew where to begin. Finally Emma asked the question she carried for 2 years. Why did you leave me? Noah stayed silent for a long moment. Then he sighed deeply. My father was sick, he said quietly. Really sick. Emma frowned slightly. What? He needed surgery. My family was drowning in debt. Everything in my life was falling apart at once. Emma listened silently. I felt trapped, Noah continued. And instead of letting you suffer with me, I pushed you away. Emma stared at him in disbelief. You should have told me. I know. You let me think I wasn't enough. No, he said quickly. Emma, never think that. You were the best thing in my life. His voice sounded painfully honest. That made it worse. Emma looked out the window, fighting tears. For 2 years, she whispered, I kept wondering what I did wrong. You did nothing wrong. Then why did you make leaving look so easy? Noah's eyes filled with sadness. It wasn't easy. Emma finally looked at him again. And for the first time, she noticed how tired he looked. Like he had suffered too. Noah smiled weakly. I thought disappearing would make you hate me. It almost did. Almost? Emma stayed quiet. That silence answered everything. Noah lowered his eyes slowly. I never stopped loving you, he admitted. Emma's heart betrayed her instantly. Because despite everything, she still loved him too. The cafe became quieter as evening passed. Outside, rain covered the streets with silver reflections from city lights. Noah looked at her carefully. Are you happy now? Emma thought about the question. She had a stable job. Good friends. A peaceful life. But happy? Not completely. I'm trying to be, she answered honestly. Noah nodded slowly. I'm glad. But his eyes looked heartbroken saying it. Emma hated how much that affected her. After some time, Noah stood up. I should go. Emma nodded gently. Part of her wanted him to stay. Another part wanted him gone before old feelings completely returned. Noah hesitated before speaking again. Emma, if life gives me another chance someday, I'd do everything differently. Her chest tightened. But before she could respond, he walked away. Emma watched him disappear into the rainy night. And suddenly all the feelings she buried for 2 years came rushing back. That night she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about his voice. His eyes. His apology. Most of all, she kept thinking about one thing. He never stopped loving her. A week passed. Then one evening Emma received a text from an unknown number. I saw a book today that reminded me of you. Her heartbeat instantly quickened. Noah. She stared at the message for almost 5 minutes before replying. What book? His reply came immediately. The one about second chances you always loved. Emma smiled before she could stop herself. Slowly, they started talking again. First occasionally. Then every day. Some conversations were simple. Others became emotional. They talked about the pain, the misunderstanding, and the years they lost. And little by little, the distance between them disappeared again. One night Noah finally asked, Can I see you tomorrow? Emma stared at the message nervously. Her heart already knew the answer before her mind did. Yes. The next evening they met at a small park near the river. Cold wind moved through the trees while city lights reflected beautifully on the water. Noah looked nervous when he saw her. Emma realized she was nervous too. They walked slowly beside the river, talking quietly. Then suddenly Noah stopped walking. Emma. She looked at him. I know I hurt you. You did. And I know I don't deserve another chance. Emma stayed silent. But if there's still something between us, I don't want to lose you again. Her eyes filled with tears instantly. Because deep inside, there was still something between them. Something strong. Something unfinished. Noah stepped closer carefully. I loved you then, he whispered. And I love you now. Emma felt tears roll down her cheeks. For years she dreamed of hearing those words again. And now that she finally did, she realized her heart still belonged to him. You idiot, she whispered emotionally. Noah laughed softly through his own tears. I know. Emma looked at him for one long moment. Then finally, she stepped forward and hugged him tightly. Noah held her carefully like he was afraid she might disappear again. And under the city lights, after years of heartbreak and silence, two people who never truly stopped loving each other finally found their way back home.